What's happening, guys? You're joining me today down at Silvercrest Valley, which is in fact a modded version of the Silvercrest Valley Map. Now, if you're doing your housekeeping correctly and you're looking after your animals, in particular your cows, they should be producing this brown stuff at the other end. So just get your hands in there. Dig in deep, bury your hands in deep, and it should have a nice texture to it. It should be manure. Just remember to wash your hands afterwards before you eat your sandwiches. So let's load this trailer up. As today we're going to be attending our greenhouses, guys. Now the two main ingredients is manure and water. So I've already purchased a few greenhouses. I've loaded some muck up here, some good old manure. I need to get in that tractor opposite now. I've got a bit of a mess here. I'll come tidy that up a little bit later. I had a little bit of an accident here earlier on. It is a working farm, so you will see the odd mess in certain areas on my farm. Like I mentioned, I'll come tidy that up another day. That's another job to do. So first off, I need this trailer of muck. The good old manure, and I've got a few greenhouses just down here, so if you've never done this before and you're wondering how to do it, this may be of interest to you. I mean, obviously if you played this game before, you'll know how to do this. A little bit of a mess here in this field. Look, I've been playing around and moving things around. The reason I've got them patches there now, that soil patch there, is because I had a few buildings there. I had a storage building there. But they've just done an update. He's just done an update to this map, and he's given us another storage area across the road, so I didn't need that storage building I've got there, so I've removed it. That's the reason why I've got that, why I've got no grass growing there. Now let's tip this anyway, regardless. Let's tip this. I think you can tip anywhere now in this game, in Farming Sim 17. I don't think you could in 15. I may be wrong, but anyway, I'm going to tip half of this. The reason being, I've got these are the tomato greenhouses, and I've got some lettuce greenhouses elsewhere, so I need most of this muck in this trailer to go somewhere else. So let's just tip that there. I've only got 3 of these at the moment. I think 3 greenhouses. I'm going to take this trailer back. Now these greenhouses actually make £60 an hour. They're 25,000 each to buy. I think the running costs of each one is £10 a day, and I think they make over €1,000 a day, around, well, what's the maths on that, about €1,440 approximately a day. So that's not too bad. Over the week it's around €10,000, isn't it? That's just over €10,000, which will help in your running costs of your machinery, etc. on your farm. So it's a nice little earn, and they're very, it's low maintenance. They're not difficult. You just need the 2 main ingredients once you've brought them. That's manure and water. And here's my water here, next to the water tower. I've got a little water tank here. I need to get a bigger one, but this will do for now. Now obviously if you haven't got the cows and you're not doing your animal management, I can't pronounce that word today, you're not doing your animal management correctly, you're not going to have one of the ingredients, which is manure. Anyway, let me just nip over the road here, let me just show you this. This is the recent updates. They've added one of the additions to the map. They've put that tool shed there opposite there. You can see it, the door's open, you can open and close the doors, and you're going to need the storage area here. The only thing I don't like is the grass. You can see the grass growing inside and coming through the floors. I don't like that. I prefer to see the base of the shed. I don't like the grass coming through. It tends to spoil it a little bit for me. Nevertheless, it's pretty good. So let's fill our greenhouses up with water. Here we go. Pretty simple. This is really easy to do. Unless you've got 100 of them, then it's really time consuming. There you go, as if by magic, Luke, we've got them. Now obviously you have got to keep each greenhouse full of water, the tank full of water there. Once it's gone empty, your lettuces, well, they're not lettuces, they're tomatoes on this one here. once they've gone empty, your tomatoes will die off, and the same for your lettuces as well. You've got to keep the little trough and the water tank full of water. Now I've only got 3, so it's not going to take long. I know when I played Farming Sim 15, I used to have about 50 of these, and it used to take quite a long time going up and down, filling each one up. So I'm not going to have a great deal of these on this map, I don't think. But I do need to be making the money. I've lost quite a little bit of money since I last played. Generally, I had a lot of equipment just standing around, and what puts me off is when you buy a tractor or something like that, it seems the longer you have it, the more the daily costs of the vehicle maintenance is. I think some of the maintenance is quite high for the day. I have got the money cheat installed just in case I need an emergency top up, but I try not to use that. I'm trying to get my farm now, my farming management. I'm trying to make my farm to make money. Now I installed a water tower here just for emergencies, so I know the actual one in the farm is only just across the way there. It's not far. But just in case I did decide to install a lot more greenhouses, I thought I'd put a water tower here, so I didn't have to travel back and forth. Because I'm not too sure. I may fill this field full of greenhouses. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. I am going to have to get rid of the muck, because once them cows start producing that manure, it starts overflowing the walls, I would imagine. So let's fill the troughs up with the good old brown smelly stuff. So there's an awful lot of work to do in Farming Sim, depending on how you want to run your farm. There's all sorts of ways you can run the farms, and that's what I like. I mean, there's over 20, I think there's about 26 fields to manage. I think I don't know how you do it, people do it who play this. I don't know how they manage all them fields and juggle them all around. I think I'm only going to do a few of them. As long as my farm is counterproductive, I think I'm going to specialise in certain crops. I don't know yet. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm having an awful lot of fun playing this game anyway. It does take you a long time just to do the simplest of tasks. So there we go, we chuck some of the old brown stuff in there, some of the old manure. Let's go and do the other one. You see, once I've done this now, to keep these tomatoes producing and making me money, I've got to keep these consistently topped up. Once they've gone empty, the tomatoes, they just die off, and you end up with your greenhouses costing you €10 a day, and they're not producing anything. So you've got to be careful, or you end up losing money. And if you've got an awful lot of greenhouses and they're empty, they're not producing, you're going to perhaps lose an awful lot of money on a weekly basis. It doesn't really bother some people, because some people just bang loads of money in with the cheat mod. I'm trying to do this farm at least. This one farm here, I'm trying to not use the cheat mod at all now. I did at the beginning for a couple of vehicles that I wanted to try out, but I've not used it since, and I'm struggling to make money now. I need to get them fields ploughed and sowed and start getting them crops in. I've had to sell quite a few of my vehicles as well, because I was just losing vast amounts of money having vehicles sitting around and not using them. So that's the last one. There we go. Oh, spilt a bit there. You've spilt a bit there. I have to mop that up. I have to try and pick that up and chuck it in. I don't want to waste anything, because it's all money. It's all money at the end of the day. And down at the farm. So that's one of the easiest tasks to do in FS17. Now, what's not so easy to do is when you've got quite a lot of these greenhouses and you've consistently got to keep them all topped up with water and manure. That's when it becomes difficult. Your cows have got to be producing the muck, you've got in all that lot. You've got to be moving it, you've got to be doing this and doing that. That's when it all becomes an awful lot of work. So let's go back and fill that trailer up now. I'll go over to where I have actually got a few more greenhouses. There was a little patch of land I wasn't using, and I stuck a few lettuce greenhouses on it. So I've got no muck up there, so I need to start taking muck up there and stockpiling it. So I want a full trailer load to take up there. So let's get in and load up. This is a good piece of kit because it's got a huge bucket up, so you can get a vast amount in this bucket just in one scoop. Now you've got to be careful when you're driving along, because if you keep the bucket low to the ground, you're stable. Once you lift it up in the air, it becomes a little bit unstable with the weight in this actual bucket here and this shovel. It gets very unstable, especially if you're driving around with that up in the air. You'll more than likely tip the vehicle up. So it shouldn't actually take me long to fill this trailer up with this huge bucket. Now I do need a lot of muck up there. I've got quite a few greenhouses. They're costing me money at the moment because they are actually empty. They're not producing any lettuces. These greenhouses we're going to be going to now, so they're costing me. They're actually losing me money. So I need to start getting them filled with muck and water and get them greenhouses producing. Otherwise, I might as well sell them because eventually, you know, they're just draining money out of my good old farm bank account. So it shouldn't take many shovels to get this trailer full. I think I'm obviously going to need a bigger trailer, and I'm going to need a lot more muck for where we're going to next. So we're loaded up, we're on our way. It's only up the road from my main farm. This just gives you an idea of the scale of how much muck and water is required to run these greenhouses. Actually, it is actually quite a lot. So this is where I do a lot of my wheat and barley here on this section up here. I've got to sow the fields. I've got to redo them. You can see the greenhouses there, just to the right hand side. There was a little strip of land down in the middle that I wasn't particularly using, so I decided to put some lettuce greenhouses on here. As you can see, there's quite a few of them, and they're going to require quite a bit of muck. So I intend, as we go down this little track here, I built a storage area. Not this one here on the right, that's where I stored a few vehicles. These two buildings here, this is where I plan on storing and stockpiling quite a bit of muck in this area here. Now, I don't need to put a water tower in here, because if you can just see there's a bit of a lake, there's water there, so I intend on driving my water tank, reversing it down and filling up in that lake. But this area here, over time, this will just become full of muck. This will be a muck area. Because these greenhouses, I mean, the amount of muck we've got here at the moment isn't enough. This probably may not, in fact, fill all them greenhouses up there. I don't know. So I'm going to tip this here, and I'm going to have to start getting these greenhouses producing, because at the moment they're costing me money sitting empty. And when you add it up over the week, you know, I want to be making money, not losing it. And I'm trying not to use that cheap mod. So let's go get my water tanker. I've only got the one water tanker at the moment, so I'm going to have to go back down to the farm and bring that little tanker up here. I will, at some point in the future, get a bigger water tanker. For now, we'll go down to the farm and we'll get that tank. And drop this trailer back off by the good old manure heap. Okay, so while I'm just going past the farm here, can you remember, did you watch my other video where I was actually planting a few trees? Just look at these trees now, just look how they've grown. They're getting really big. I'm soon going to be coming down here with my chainsaw I'm cutting all these down and either taking them down to the sawmill or putting them through that machine which was just by that shed to make chippings with. So they're all due now to be cut down. So let's just go in the farm here and get my water tanker and go back up. So we got the tank, we got the water tank, guys. Like I mentioned, I have yet to get still a big tank as I crash into the concrete here inside the greenhouse. Anyway, so I'm going to start filling these up. I've got a little bit of water. Well, I've actually got a full load actually, haven't I? This tank's full. So let's see how many of these greenhouses this small water tank will fill. So we've done one to the second one. See how the lettuces instantly pop up, but there's no manure in yet, so they're not going to be very active. They're going to die off without any manure in. So we filled 2, so this little tanker is probably going to fill 4 greenhouses. It's going to be a lot of running up and down with this little tank. I am going to have to source out a lot bigger tanker, and we'll just get a little bit of water in here. So it's not that useful actually, this little water tank isn't, when you're going on when you're getting on a bigger scale with a lot more greenhouses. It's okay for feeding the animals in the yard, but we're going to have to get a much bigger water tanker. So I'm not going to need to place a water tower up here. I'm hoping, and I'm going to try this now, because on Farming Sim 15 you can back down into the lakes, so I'm just going to have to be careful where to back down, because I do not want to lose my tractor and trailer in the lake. So I'm just going to take it steady and back down here, and I should be able to fill this up. So there we go. I can fill the tankers up here from this lake. So what I've got to do now, I've got to get a bigger water tanker. I need a bigger tanker. We've got water up here. I've got the greenhouses up here. I just need a vast amount of muck now, manure. So I'll soon be transporting that up and filling these storage sheds up with manure, and no doubt there'll be a big pile in the middle here as well at some point. So I'm off now, guys. I've got a crop that's about to be ready to harvest. I think it's potatoes. That's my next job. So I'll see you all again. Hopefully you'll join me for more fun down on the farm. You know, we're getting up to all sorts. I even heard Billy Bob might make an appearance sometime. If anybody knows Billy Bob, I've heard he's sleeping in one of the sheds. I don't know how true that is, but anyway, thanks so much, guys. See you all again real soon.